Hey guys, this is Gohan6425 on YouTube, the one and only. And right now, you are watching the one and only great WGS-TV.
You have warped your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm the WrestleGamer, WB. This is going to be the NXT review for the week of February 18, 2015, the fallout from NXT Rival. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel for this week's NXT review. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he is the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. As my phone continues to go off on here, sorry about that. He is the hardcore one himself, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Billy. The snow is apparently seemed to finally stop, but I guess we'll get more snow coming. But you know, it is what it is. Thanks for having me.
As I put my phone on silent, I'm about to say violent, but I'm about to be violent with that phone. But I got to remember it cost me a little bit of money. Speaking of being violent, James from the Big Easy is here. James, how you doing?
Come on down! Blue Pants is the next contestant on Getting Beat Up by a Diva! Alright.
Now, we would kind of have a little bit of an opening on NXT this week with William Regal reacting to the Kevin Owens championship win, and he's also like acting thoroughly disgusted. And you know, and when it comes to William Regal pulling off that kind of part, he really does it magnificently. And I'm still waiting for the day when we're going to hear the words, William Regal will be inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm looking forward to that date. But yeah, he makes a matchup, a non-title match, Kevin Owens to take on Adrian Neville, which then prompted Owens to come out to the ring, kind of address his championship win to the crowd. And the crowd, that's one thing I really like about the crowd for NXT, Rick. They're always 50-50, but they're always very vocal and they're always very passionate during the shows.
Well, when you have a show like NXT, which has a phenomenal, group in the wrestling, you know what? I think it's not to mention the actual arena itself is actually half the size, of Raw or SmackDown. You're gonna get that kind of a feel. It's more of an indie feel as opposed to the Raw or SmackDown. So obviously, you're gonna get that much more that feeling to it. So absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man beast Rhino is back in a WWE ring on NXT, just absolutely destroying Elias Sampson with the Gore. And James, I gotta ask you your reaction to the return of Rhino on WWE programming.
It's kind of weird the fact that last time you seen Rhino, he was and all of a sudden now he appears on NXT. It kind of brings up the question, how long is he there for and what's his purpose there? Is he just there to, help up the roster?
Actually, I do have a news on that, update on that. According to reports, he's going to be there until April, at least.
Well, at least this will be a chance for him to make some good money. And maybe, hopefully, if he starts getting more and more over with the crowds, and he starts being utilized even more, that possibly they could talk contract extensions and maybe bring Rhino back up to the main roster, because he was a viable talent in ECW. He was really good in TNA, and I really want to see him do well in NXT and then hopefully Raw or SmackDown. But one thing I did notice is following that match, they would have a commentary reaction by Finn Balor backstage, giving his reactions to what Kevin Owens had to say, saying that, beware, because what happened to Sami Zayn at Rival is going to happen to you, Finn Balor. And during that little little interview segment, Rhino would walk in and kind of eyeball Finn Balor and just look up down him and smile. And Rick, I got to say this, if this is an indication of a future match between these two guys, holy hell, that is going to be one hell of a match.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see these two feud before Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. I think we're going to see kind of like a tweener match, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I would consider that to be a tweener match. But speaking of something that probably needs to be tweaked or tweenered or anything like that, can somebody actually tell me what the hell did Enzo Amore do to his face? He's got a dark blonde mustache, and now he's got a bright bleach blonde beard. I mean, who the hell did he pay to do that to his face?
I don't know, but I Miss Jack shit said he looks like a comic book character or a cartoon character, and that's exactly what he looks like. He continues each and every week. He does weird shit to himself. I mean, a couple months ago, if you looked at his mohawk, he had like weird little patterns to his mohawk. So he's gotten rid of that, and as you said, now he's got like bleach blonde goatee and a black stash, and it's just not working.
But it was kind of unique though to see the finish of this match. It was Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady who came up with Carmella. And by the way, I'm going to say A+ on the Daisy Dukes. I'm going to say that right now. Carmella looking hot in them Daisy Duke jeans. Thinking on the VaudeVillians. Now, I would think the VaudeVillians would possibly go over on this match, but no, it was actually Colin Cassady hitting the big boot in Aiden English's face and Enzo Amore picking up the win. James, I want to ask you this. Do you think this could be a possible sign of now a push towards the tag team titles for Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady?
I think so. Also, you add the fact of after the match, you saw the tag team champions come up on a Tron and basically was hitting on Carmella. So basically, that is going to be a tag team title feud going into the future with Enzo Amore, Big Cass, and Blake and Wesley. I forgot.
Blake and Murphy. Blake and
Murphy. Thank you.
And what I loved about that segment, James, is it gave Blake and Murphy some attitude. We've seen what they've done in the ring. They're really good talents. I think they're on the precipice of greatness. They put the tag team titles on them for a reason, because they are getting up into that point where they are on that precipice, on that borderline of greatness. And to see them give them that kind of an attitude on the Titantron towards Carmella and Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady, I think is going to do them wonders with trying to fit a really good gimmick for Blake and Murphy. And I really look forward to what they're going to do with them right there, James, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. It helps with giving him a gimmick, because really they didn't have a gimmick when they won the tag team titles, and still feuding with the Lucha Dragons. And so basically you give them this attitude, basically really may help define them as a team.
Well, apparently following that, CJ Parker, yes, the hippie of NXT, wasn't very happy that he was left off NXT TakeOver Rival, and said that he hated NXT, he hated all the fans, and that, in fact, until he would get what he wanted, I'm not even sure he even specified what he wanted in the promo, that he was going to take over NXT. He actually had a sign that said Parker is taking over, take over, and then he would start putting police tape all over the ring, and then next we would see the ring kind of like start being like the hacker thing for Solomon Crow, and then we would get Solomon Crow, and for lack of a better term, for those of you who follow the indie scene, it's Sami Callihan. But now with this Solomon Crow gimmick, Rick, I know before we started recording the review, we were actually talking a little bit about that, and I don't know. I was maybe expecting maybe a more impactful debut for Solomon Crow, but for the lack of a better term, what we saw last night, to me, it was just like a guy shows up, runs in, beats the hell out of CJ Parker, and then leaves.
Well, first off, let's talk about that. I mean, CJ Parker. Anybody and everybody is beating up CJ Parker. CJ Parker has become pretty much the jobber of NXT.
I think we can give him an official term. He's become the Colin Delaney of NXT.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to do that, I was gonna call him the Zack Ryder of the NXT, but
I think Colin Delaney has more notoriety than Zack Ryder.
Okay, in any event, yeah, but but I think just for that opening start, you know what? That's all he needed. But the opening, his gimmick, I wasn't really impressed. It was, like I said, when we first started. It kind of reminded me of a cheap Raven knockoff. Although Raven's a little bit more kind of, I wouldn't say he's like as like intense. Raven's always like more poetic, a lot more.
Do you remember the Flock in WCW?
Yes, he did.
Do you remember the guy Loki in the Flock? The guy that always had a sign and had like big blonde hair. It's kind of like Raven's Lackey.
Yep.
That's kind of like who Solomon Crowe kind of resembled. Is Loki from the Flock in WCW?
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
James, any thoughts on the debut of Solomon Crowe? I mean, what was your reaction to it?
Well, really, it's kind of unique how he came in. I just felt like that gimmick could have been more of a heel gimmick because of what the reports were that if it's the hacker gimmick, that hacker gimmick's more of a heel gimmick than the face gimmick. But he comes in and beat up CJ Parker, who went from relevant last year to
pretty much that. Yeah, getting beat up by Solomon Crowe in less than 30 seconds. Yeah. But I'm really, for a debut like this, I was expecting something more of an impactful thing because we've been seeing this hacker thing from Solomon Crowe, I think, ever since the turn of the year, I would think. And again, it just really didn't seem like it was a good debut. I hope we see more out of him next week than what we did last night on NXT because it really didn't. There's really no way to tell what they're going to be doing with him. If this really is a hacker gimmick, the only thing we saw out of him was him beating up CJ Parker, and that was it. I mean, we didn't really see anything to kind of resemble what kind of a gimmick they're going to be giving Sami Callihan, a.k.a. Solomon Crowe. But up next, we want to have Sasha Banks and James the Big Easy's favorite diva of all time. Da 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 da. I don't even know if I was doing it right, but it was blue pants. Like the whole, it's hard to believe a gimmick like that, James, is over on the crowd just like that. Blue pants.
Well, really, you have to thank Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady and Carmella. The fact that she got beat up by Carmella, a lot of times, but that gimmick is so over. It's hilarious.
You know what? I could see her in a Divas tag team, and her partner would be Red Pants. And will we call them Team Purple or something like that, or Team Complimentary?
You could say the manager would be Purple Pants.
and for all intents and purposes,
we just need to find the people that has those type of pants.
Yeah, but here's the thing. For all intents and purposes, Purple Pants would be a dude, and you always be tired. But anyway, I can't believe I even made that joke.
Do you know who Blue Pants is? That's the question.
Not really.
She is an independent wrestler called Levita Bates.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And the Studlyman Ashley was telling me about her one time. Completely spaced on that one, but finally, I think we need to talk about the main event on NXT. Adrian Neville and Kevin Owens non-title match. What an amazing, amazing match that was. I mean, this is one of the pure reasons right here, Rick, why I love watching NXT. That main event with Owens and Neville was so damn entertaining. And I even posted a question on Facebook, Rick. Why can't matches on the main roster be this entertaining, be as entertaining as Neville and Owens? And then I kind of answered my own question by saying, oh yeah, it's Vince McMahon that runs the main roster.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. And as much as NXT is a great, great product, and I was talking about this with Ms. Jack Shit last night because she watches it, and even she says, wow, this is so much better than Raw and SmackDown because she watches it with me. and she is a fairly new. I wouldn't call her a wrestling fan, but she's been watching it. She's been coming to like wrestling in general, and she's like, wow, this is so much better than Raw or any of the other products. Why can't they do this? And I simply gave it an honest answer. The fact is, you got to understand that NXT is not on the road as much as the main roster. The main roster is on the road 300 plus days a year, while NXT is not. So NXT has that opportunity to do all those huge moves, those great spots, that deadlift powerbomb, that deadlift German suplex.
Oh, that was an amazing spot right there.
That Adrian Neville did to Kevin Owens. Now,
picture this in your minds, guys. Picture this in your minds. Kevin Owens is about a good 250, 260. Normally when you see a German suplex spot, it's always from a standing position. Neville stood while Owens was face down on the mat, and he was about to get up, grabbed him, deadlifted. I mean, deadlifted 260 pounds and flung him back in a German suplex. That was amazing.
Exactly. And all the other spots that they do are phenomenal. But when you look at these spots, you can't do these spots, on Raw, on SmackDown, pay-per-views, dark matches. When you do all these matches, they're going to wear you down quickly. Look at, people like John Cena, not to take anything away from them. People like, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, all those top superstars. If they did those moves every night of the week, they'd be out a lot more than they already are. Their careers would be shortened, cut in half.
And speaking of amazing spots, the 450 on the outside, from the ring apron to the floor. Exactly.
And it was a great match, an awesome match, and this is why NXT is the better product, because this is wrestling. This is stuff that we love to watch and love to see. And the sad fact is, when they move up to Raw, it's going to go away. I don't care who you are. When Adrian Neville goes up to Raw, that's going to disappear.
Yeah, they're going to tone down that gimmick, I mean, incredibly. And with all those rumors of the Mighty Mouse gimmick, they're going to make him look like a complete idiot. But I think here's the main thing we need to remember, though. Even though that he won't be like the gimmick that he wanted, here's the thing. It's going to be a gimmick that'll be giving him money.
Exactly.
Overall score on NXT this week, it's going to get a 4 out of 5. It was an amazing show, but I'm going to give worst segment to the debut of Solomon Crow, just based on the fact is I was expecting more of an impactful debut. We've seen this little hacker vignette things that we've seen out of him where he'd interrupt someone's entrance or someone's exit out of a match, and I was thinking, with Sami Callihan, and Sami Callihan has a reputation. Even though I never really got to see much of his work, I know about Sami Callihan's reputation and what a good talent he is. And for his debut, they're going to have him go out there and beat up C.J. Parker. I mean, who hasn't beat up C.J. Parker? I could beat up C.J. Parker. I know you could beat up C.J. Parker. Rick James can, probably beat up C.J. Parker, but you would have to give him a hamburger first in order to buy off the beatdown. But I was expecting more of an impactful debut, and really did not get that. And like I said, hopefully next week we can see more of what they plan to do with Sami Callihan, a.k.a. Solomon Crow. But best match of the night, hands down, is the main event. Adrian Neville, Kevin Owens, an amazing match. And these guys showing why they have earned the reputations that they have. Pac and Kevin Steen, or, we're not supposed to know those names. I'm talking about Adrian Neville and Kevin Owens. But it was still an amazing match. Highlight of the night. One of the best matches I've seen in NXT in quite some time. As somebody's getting a lot of messages on their phones, I'm going to go to Rick next and find out his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT this week. Rick?
Yeah, I'm right with you. I have to give it like a 4. I'll give it a 4.5. The worst segment, that Solomon Crow really did not impress me, unfortunately. But the best match was the main event. So. NXT still saving grace of a WWE.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And James, over to you. Your overall score and your thoughts on your picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT.
I give it a 4.5 out of 5 for this one. And, NXT is, as you've been saying, is the saving grace of WWE. It's always fun, even when you have jobber divas getting over. It's so funny as hell.
Da, 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 da.
She gets her own video and music. What?
On that note, guys and gals, what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on NXT this week. What are your overall scores? What are your thoughts? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT? And where the hell are my blue pants? We definitely want to know what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Of course, you can always find us on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And anytime you want to check out our videos, check out our videos at YouTube, Dailymotion, and SoundCloud.com. Just check us out on HWR Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's currently looking for his can of blue paint to add to his hamburger statue of blue pants in the Houdat Temple. It's James from the Big Easy. James, you got anything coming up?
Yeah.
Besides your hatred of me?
Yes. I am on twitch.tv/fatboy504. You can find me there. You can also find me on Twitter at fatboy504, and you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/JTD70129. I do random stuff, but I don't do much videos, but yeah.
Fans, don't forget to follow me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer if you haven't already. So, with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Kent, and James in the Big Easy, I'm the WrestleGamer. Don't leave Billy Dojo saying I always salute blue pants. Look. And also in the same vein, you can also clean up consumed all those tokens. Not a bad